Good morning, I'm Neva Reddy-Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Friday, 19th of January. In this update, residents in Westland and the Grey districts are bracing for heavy rain today. West Coast Emergency Management is working with local councils to prepare and activate an emergency operations centre. Peak rainfalls are expected between noon and 1 p.m, particularly between Otira and inland from Haast. West Coast Emergency Management Group Manager Claire Brown says people need to keep an eye on updates.
Particularly the conditions of the roads and also the forecast. So if people are anticipating to travel around the region, really important that before they leave home that they just check first on how the roading conditions are.
Christopher Luxon is promising a government relentless in delivering outcomes, but one that supports each other at the same time. His national MPs head home today after gathering for the first time this year in Christchurch for their annual caucus retreat. Senior political reporter Sophie Trigger is there.
Luxon yesterday addressed the caucus with three key asks: to focus on their electorates, be a good parliamentarian and stay even and consistent. But following the resignation of Green MP Golriz Garaman, Luxon was pressed on how he would support his MP's mental health. He says working hard and looking after people aren't mutually exclusive and promised his team would go hard in its return to Parliament.
Meanwhile, Christopher Luxon says this weekend's hui, called for by the Māori King, isn't about politicians. The Kingitanga's hui, planned for Ngaruawahia's Tūranga Waiwai Marae, is intended as a platform for Māori to respond to the new coalition government's plans. Luxon says he's all for it, but won't attend himself.
This is about bringing Māoridom together to actually have a broader conversation about where is Māori going. And actually, when I think about the breakout sessions that are going to happen, the topics of conversation, they're all really fantastic. But the politicians are not front and centre.
Woolworths is asking former staff to come forward after discovering issues with pay and leave entitlement dating back to 2015. The food company has approached 5,000 former or current salaried team members who may qualify for remediation or adjusted leave balances. Woolworths says it doesn't have an estimate of how much this may cost, and any remediation owed will be paid out from mid this year. Researchers have identified patterns in victims of falls at home that may help prevention efforts. An article in the latest medical journal looks into 11 years of hospital admissions for falls at home across the middle of the North Island. Children under 10 and those over 65 are the two key age groups, while more than 60% of patients suffered facial injuries. Author Grant Christie says the analysis provides others in the health system with a clear view of priority areas.
Use this information to put in cost-effective as well as useful prevention strategies that are focused on groups at risk.
In sport, Elena Rybakina has been ousted from the Australian Tennis Open second round after losing the longest singles Grand Slam tiebreak 22-20 to Anna Blinkova. The West Indies are floundering 2 days into the opening cricket test against Australia at Adelaide. They're 73 for 6, still trailing by 22 runs in their second innings. Springbok 2019 World Cup winner Elton Jantjies has been suspended from rugby for 4 years after testing positive for the banned substance clenbuterol. I'm Neva Reddy-Manu. That's your latest news fix, and we'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.